Hey everyone, and welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm your host, Henry.
And I'm Sarah, your co-host. We're so glad you're here with us today.
Whether you're listening while walking, cooking, commuting, or just relaxing, we've got a great topic for you today.
Yes, today we're talking about something many English learners want to know: how to learn English naturally, not with boring textbooks or memorizing hundreds of grammar rules, but in a way that feels real, fun, and actually works.
Exactly. We're going to explore what it really means to learn a language naturally, and how you can start using simple techniques in your everyday life, even if you're just starting out.
And don't worry, we'll keep everything clear and easy to follow. We'll also share real tips, examples, and even a few funny stories from our own experience.
So if you've ever felt stuck, overwhelmed, or just unsure about how to make progress in English, stay with us. You might just find a new way to fall in love with learning again.
Let's dive in.
All right, let's get started with a simple question. What does it actually mean to learn English naturally?
Good question. A lot of people think learning a language has to be about sitting in a classroom, studying grammar books, and doing exercises. But learning naturally is kind of the opposite.
Yeah, it's more like the way kids learn their first language, right? They don't study rules. They listen, they watch, they copy what people say.
Exactly. It's about learning through real experiences. You hear the language, you get used to the sounds, the rhythm, the expressions, and then you start using it bit by bit without even realizing you're learning.
When you learn naturally, you're picking up English the way it's actually spoken, not the way it's written in a textbook. For example, a textbook might teach you to say, I am going to the store, but in real life, people often say, I'm gonna go to the store.
Right. And that's so important. If you only study formal English, you might feel lost when you watch a movie or talk to a native speaker.
Totally. And natural learning isn't just about listening. It can include watching English shows, reading books you enjoy, having conversations, even playing games or using social media in English.
I remember when I was learning Spanish, I didn't really start making progress until I stopped trying to be perfect and just started watching Spanish TV shows every night. At first, I didn't understand much, but over time, it got easier. I started picking up phrases and getting used to how people actually talk.
That's a great example. It's like your brain needs time to absorb the language, and the more relaxed and interested you are, the better it works.
And one more thing, natural learning is not about being lazy or avoiding grammar. It just means you learn grammar in context. You see how grammar works by hearing and reading real sentences.
Yeah, like instead of memorizing the past tense of go, you hear someone say, I went to the park yesterday, and you remember it because it was part of a story or a moment.
Exactly. So learning English naturally means learning by doing, by living, by listening, and by enjoying the process. It's not about perfection. It's about connection.
Love that, not perfection, but connection. That's the heart of it.
Okay, now that we've talked about what natural learning is, let's move on to some of the things that hold people back. Some common myths and mistakes we hear all the time.
Let's bust those myths. All right, now that we've talked about what learning English naturally means, let's talk about some of the common misconceptions, or, in other words, the things people believe about learning English that just aren't true.
Yes, these are the things that often stop people from making progress, and we hear them all the time.
Here's the first big one. I need to learn all the grammar rules before I can start speaking.
Oh, this one. So many people think they can't talk until they've mastered grammar. But that's just not true. Babies don't study grammar books, right?
Right. They learn by listening, by trying, by making mistakes. And actually, you learn grammar faster when you use the language naturally.
Yes, and guess what? Native speakers make grammar mistakes too. The goal is to communicate, not be perfect.
Okay, here's another one. I have to speak perfectly, or people will laugh at me.
Ooh, that fear is real. But here's the truth. Most people love it when someone tries to speak their language. They don't care if you make small mistakes.
Absolutely. When I visited Japan, I tried to speak Japanese, and even when I said the wrong thing, people were so kind and encouraging.
It's the same with English. Most English speakers are just happy that you're trying, and honestly, mistakes help you learn.
Exactly. And speaking of mistakes, here's the third misconception. If I make mistakes, I'll never improve.
That's actually the opposite of the truth. Mistakes are how you do improve. It's how you learn what works and what doesn't.
One time I kept saying, I am boring, instead of, I am bored. People laughed, but they also explained why it was wrong. And now I never forget it.
That's a classic. And that's how it works. A little bit of embarrassment can be a powerful teacher.
All right, last one. I need a teacher or a class to learn English.
Now, classes and teachers can help, for sure, but they're not the only way to learn. You can do so much on your own, especially today with the internet, YouTube, podcast, like this one.
Yeah, if you're motivated, you can create your own learning environment at home. You don't have to wait for someone to teach you. You can take control.
So, to sum it up, don't wait to be perfect. Don't be afraid of mistakes, and don't feel like you need a traditional classroom. You can start learning naturally right now, right where you are.
Exactly. And now that we've cleared up those myths, let's talk about the good stuff, how you can actually start learning English in a more natural way, step by step.
Coming up next, real-life strategies you can use today.
All right, now the part everyone's been waiting for. Let's talk about how to learn English naturally. Not just the theory, but real, practical strategies.
Yes, if you're listening right now and wondering, okay, but what should I actually do? This is for you.
Let's start with one of the most powerful things. Listening, just listen to as much English as possible.
Absolutely. And don't worry if you don't understand everything at first. It's like tuning your ears to the music of the language.
Exactly. You can start with things you enjoy. Podcasts, YouTube channels, movies, songs. If you like cooking, watch recipe videos in English. If you like comedy, watch funny clips.
The key is listen every day, even if it's just 10 or 15 minutes. Over time, your brain gets used to the rhythm, the expressions, the sound of English.
And here's a great trick. Listen to the same thing more than once. The first time, just enjoy it. The second time, maybe use subtitles. The third time, try repeating what they say.
Which brings us to our next strategy, imitation.
Yes, this one works really well. You just pick a sentence a native speaker says, maybe from a video or a podcast, and repeat it exactly like them. Try to match their tone, rhythm, even their emotion.
I love doing this with scenes from TV shows. I pause, repeat the line, and try to sound just like the actor. It's fun, and it helps with pronunciation and fluency.
Okay, now what about reading? That's another big one.
Definitely. But don't read boring stuff. Read things you actually enjoy. That might be short stories, comic books, blogs, even Instagram posts.
And when you read, don't stop every time you see a new word. Try to understand from context. You can check the word later if it keeps showing up.
Yes, you don't have to know every word to enjoy a story. Think about how we watch movies in other languages. We still get the main idea.
Another strategy is using English in your everyday life. This is huge.
Yes, start thinking in English. If you're cooking, say the ingredients out loud in English. If you're walking, describe what you see in your head.
Or keep a simple English journal. Write just a few sentences each day about your life or your thoughts.
You can even change your phone settings to English. It sounds small, but it makes a difference over time.
Oh, and don't forget about talking to yourself in English.
Yes, sounds silly, but it's so useful. Practice common conversations. What time is it? I need to go shopping. I'm feeling tired today. Just simple stuff.
And if you want real conversations, try language exchange apps or online communities. You don't need to travel. You can meet people online who are learning your language and want to practice English.
There are also great apps like HelloTalk, Tandem, or even Facebook groups for language learners.
And here's one last strategy. Make English part of your fun time. Watch shows, play games, listen to music, all in English. The more fun you have, the faster you learn.
Yes, learning doesn't have to feel like homework. If you enjoy it, you'll stick with it. And that's what really matters.
So let's recap these natural learning strategies real quick. 1. Listen daily, even if you don't understand everything. 2. Repeat and imitate native speakers. 3. Read fun content. 4. Use English in your daily life. 5. Talk to yourself or with others. 6. Turn your hobbies into English practice.
Exactly. These small things, done every day, create big results over time.
All right, up next, we're going to talk about the difference between textbook English and real-world English and why it matters.
Can't wait for that one.
All right, now that we've covered some practical strategies, let's talk about real conversations versus the textbook dialogues you usually find in formal English lessons.
Oh, this is an important one. A lot of textbooks teach English through very perfect formal conversations, right? Like the typical dialogue format you find in language books.
Right. You know, the ones where person A says, "Hello, how are you?" And person B answers, "I am fine, thank you." And you? Very formal.
Yeah, and while that's useful for learning structure, it's not exactly how people speak in real life. I mean, who talks like that?
Exactly. Imagine going to a coffee shop and you say, "I am fine, thank you." The barista might give you a strange look.
You'd probably sound like a robot. In real conversations, people don't use perfect sentences every time. Native speakers often speak in fragment slang or even shortened forms at,
For example, in a real conversation, someone might say, "Hey, what's up?" instead of "How are you?" And you might reply with, "Not much, you," instead of "I am doing well, thank you."
Exactly. It's much more relaxed. We also use a lot of contracted forms like I'm instead of I am or what are you doing instead of what are you doing.
And let's not forget about slang and idioms. For example, if someone says, "That's awesome," they're not talking about the literal meaning of awesome, they're just expressing excitement.
Right, or you might hear I'm feeling kinda down today instead of I am feeling sad.
So, the takeaway here is, don't rely only on textbook conversations. Sure, they help you understand basic structure, but they won't prepare you for real-life English.
Exactly. That's why it's so important to immerse yourself in natural, everyday English. Watch TV shows, listen to podcasts, talk to people, get used to the way people really speak.
Yeah, when I watch a show in English, I'm always paying attention to how characters talk in casual settings. They don't just follow a script, they talk like real people.
And it's not just about the words they use. It's about the tone, the rhythm, the expressions, all of that makes a huge difference.
Totally. And the more you listen to real conversations, the more your brain will start to understand this way of speaking, even if it doesn't always match what's in a textbook.
Exactly. So, while textbooks can be a good starting point, remember real-world language is often much more relaxed and fluid. The more you expose yourself to natural English, the easier it will be to speak it yourself.
So, if you're watching a movie or listening to a podcast, try to pick up on how people interact. Practice by imitating those conversations or using those phrases yourself.
And don't worry if you don't understand everything. The goal is to get comfortable with real, natural speech.
Okay, now that we've talked about how important it is to embrace real conversations, let's dive into how you can create a daily routine for yourself. Something that fits into your busy life.
That's coming up next. Stay tuned.
All right, we've talked about strategies and real-world English, but one of the biggest questions we get is how do I fit all of this into my busy day?
I hear you. It's easy to feel overwhelmed when you're juggling work, school, or family responsibilities. But the truth is, learning English doesn't have to take hours every day.
Exactly. It's all about small, consistent habits. You don't need a huge block of time. Even 15 to 30 minutes a day can make a big difference over time.
That's the key, consistency. It's better to practice a little every day than to do a 3-hour study session once a week.
Let's break it down. The first part of your daily routine should be listening practice. This is where you can make use of your commute, or even while doing chores.
I love this one. You can listen to English podcasts, music, or watch videos in the background. This doesn't require full attention. You're just soaking up the language.
And it's super flexible. You can listen during breakfast, on your walk, or while you're cleaning the house. Just make it part of your day.
Exactly. Next up, reading. Try to read something in English every day. And no, it doesn't have to be a big book. Start small. Maybe an article, a blog post, or even social media posts.
Yes! And here's the trick. Read things that interest you. If you love cooking, follow English language food blogs. If you're into fashion, read English fashion magazines online.
The more you enjoy what you're reading, the easier it will be to keep going. And like we said earlier, don't worry about looking up every word. Just get the main idea. You'll understand more and more over time.
Another great habit is speaking practice. I know this one can be intimidating for a lot of people, but it's important.
Totally. And you don't need a conversation partner every time. You can practice talking to yourself, describe your day, your thoughts, or anything that comes to mind in English.
One easy way to practice speaking is by shadowing. Just repeat what you hear from a podcast or YouTube video as closely as you can. This helps with pronunciation and fluency.
And, of course, if you can, try to talk to others in English. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment to speak. The more you speak, the more confident you'll become.
Exactly. You can use apps like Hello Talk or language exchange groups online to find people to chat with. Even short conversations count.
All right, now let's talk about writing. You don't need to write long essays every day. Start with short, simple sentences or even a daily journal.
I love the idea of a daily journal. Just write a few sentences about what you did today, how you're feeling, or what you learned.
It doesn't have to be perfect. Just get into the habit of expressing yourself in English.
Okay, so let's recap your daily routine. 1. Listen to English for 10 to 15 minutes each day. Podcasts, music, etc. 2. Read something that interests you in English for a few minutes. 3. Speak out loud, whether you're talking to yourself or having a conversation. Write a few sentences in English, even if it's just journaling.
And remember, these don't need to be long sessions. The goal is consistency, not perfection. If you can do these things every day, even for just 15 to 20 minutes, you'll start to see huge progress.
And here's the best part. You don't have to do everything at once. Pick 1 or 2 habits to start with and build from there.
Exactly. The more you stick with it, the more natural English will start to feel in your day-to-day life.
All right. Now that we've built your daily routine, let's move on to the mindset you need to succeed with learning English.
Yes, this is the part where we talk about patience and motivation, which are just as important as practice itself.
Stay with us. All right, now that we've covered strategies, routines, and real-world English, let's talk about something just as important, your mindset.
Exactly. Learning English isn't just about memorizing vocabulary or grammar, it's about having the right mental attitude to keep going, even when things get tough.
One of the biggest things to remember is that learning a language is a marathon, not a sprint. It's not about getting perfect right away, but about making steady progress over time.
So true, and there will be moments when you feel like you're not improving. But don't get discouraged, it's totally normal. Everyone goes through those periods.
I mean, think about it. If you've been learning for a while, you might not notice small improvements because they happen so gradually. But one day, you'll realize, wow, I've come a long way.
It's all about patience. When I was learning Spanish, I'd get frustrated sometimes, but then I'd remember how far I had come since the beginning. It wasn't about speaking perfectly, it was about being able to express myself more than I could before.
That's a great point. Celebrate small victories like when you have a conversation or when you understand a movie without subtitles. Those are big wins.
And don't forget that motivation can be a roller coaster. Some days you'll feel super inspired, and other days you'll feel exhausted or frustrated.
That's totally normal. The key is to keep going even when you don't feel like it. Set realistic goals and break things down into smaller steps so you don't feel overwhelmed.
And remember, you don't have to love studying every single day. Some days it's okay to just watch an English movie and call it a study session. Learning English should be enjoyable.
Exactly. You can always find something fun to do in English, whether it's playing a game, watching a show, or reading something you're passionate about.
It's also helpful to remind yourself why you're learning English in the first place. Is it for travel? For your career? To connect with more people? Knowing your why can keep you motivated on those days when you feel like giving up.
That's huge. When your why is clear, it gives you the energy to keep pushing forward. And on top of that, don't be afraid to ask for support. Whether it's from a teacher, a friend, or a community of learners, it helps to know you're not alone.
Definitely. There's power in community. Share your progress, talk about your challenges, and cheer each other on.
So, to wrap up on mindset, be patient, celebrate small wins, remember your motivation, and keep things fun and light. Language learning is a journey, and the more you enjoy the process, the more successful you'll be in the long run.
And above all, never give up. Every bit of progress, no matter how small, is one step closer to fluency.
All right, we've covered a lot today. How to learn English naturally, myths, strategies, real-world English, daily routines, and mindset. It's all about staying motivated, making small daily steps, and enjoying the journey.
We hope you feel empowered and ready to dive in. You've got this.
Thanks for listening, and remember, learning English is a lifelong adventure. Keep practicing, and we'll see you in the next episode.
See you soon.
Well, that's it for today's episode. We've covered a lot of ground, from learning English naturally to developing the right mindset for success.
Yes, to recap, remember that learning English is about making it part of your everyday life. Whether it's listening, speaking, reading, or writing, consistency is key.
Absolutely. And don't forget to keep your goals in mind. Stay patient and enjoy the process. Language learning isn't a race, it's a journey.
Also, real-world English is so important. Focus on authentic conversations, the stuff you'll actually hear in movies, TV shows, or daily life.
Right. And finally, build a routine that works for you. Even 10 to 15 minutes a day can make a huge difference, and remember to have fun with it.
And always remember, it's okay to make mistakes. They're part of the process. Just keep practicing, stay motivated, and you'll see progress.
We hope you feel inspired and ready to take on your English learning journey. Keep practicing, and remember, you're not alone. We're here to help you along the way.
Thanks so much for listening. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss future episodes. See you next time.
Take care and keep learning. Thanks again for tuning into today's episode of the English Learning Podcast. We hope you found some helpful tips and are feeling more confident about your English learning journey.
If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a new episode. We've got plenty more to help you improve your English naturally with fun, practical tips and advice.
And if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover, feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you.
Keep practicing, stay motivated, and we'll see you next time on the English Learning Podcast.
Take care, everyone, and happy learning.